tremendous champion of supporting families and enabling them to thrive in the new reality of
You hear the reaction from the audience, so I need to...
Welcome back to The Lead. That was first daughter Ivanka Trump earlier today being booed and hissed at while speaking about her father on a woman's entrepreneur panel in Berlin, Germany. When later asked about the jeers, President Trump's daughter and White House advisor said she's used to it. It's all part of politics. Let's jump back with our panel. Amy, what do you make of that reception? I guess it's kind of an elite European crowd.
An elitist group of women who are not happy with President Trump. And, you know, there's become this now meme going around about that Ivanka Trump as complicit and that this is her role in sort of being a kinder, gentler face on policies and procedures that this group of folks don't like to see. But again, I don't know that it really tells us much about the role that Ivanka Trump is going to be playing later on. She's still going to have a pretty significant role with her father, whether or not folks in Berlin are particularly excited
David, what
about
is her
that.
role? I mean, I know she's a senior advisor.
She's senior advisor. She's the president's daughter. I mean, she obviously has a special place in his life. I mean, you have kids. You know, your child plays a particular role. Ivanka happens to be extremely talented, very bright. I had the good fortune of working with her in Pennsylvania. She and the president rolled out their child care tax credit plan in Delaware County during the campaign, and she's incredibly bright. And you heard her after this; she's used to it. I spent several days with her during the campaign, and she said it's politics. She gets the jeers, and as you pointed out, it's an elitist European crowd, and so I would have been shocked if they didn't boo her.
Dan, what do you make of it all?
Well, I think if she were just the president's daughter and she had gone and she'd been booed, I would have thought that's probably out of bounds. Like, she didn't choose to be in this, but she did choose to be a White House senior advisor, right? And so, in that sense, she's not excused from all the licks and political hits that White House staff take just because she's the president's daughter. And the challenge here is no one knows what she's doing. The White House has not outlined that. We don't know what her duties are. It's simply to advocate for something sometime, somewhere. And if she had a very clear portfolio and we knew what it was, then people could judge her on her work. Instead, we were left in this situation where it's this vague role, and she's going to take criticism for that.
No, I would just say, like, so, you know, what was your role when you were senior advisor to the president? Did you have a book that had your duties every day?
Yeah, absolutely.
You went in, and did you stray from them ever?
But I had specific roles. I worked on communications and message and politics.
No, but I mean, before that, you were simply senior advisor, right?
Yeah,
before you became communications director.
But even as senior advisor, I was very specific tasks, as did everyone else. They have. Within the White House, whether it's the Obama White House, the Bush White House, the Clinton White House, people have specific roles. She does not look. This is a completely unique situation. I acknowledge that.
And listen, and those definitions are your definition. I'm sure your responsibilities were much more obtuse in your narrow definition of what your job duties were every day. You didn't just color in the lines. You did whatever's necessary to advance the cause of the president. And I think that's what she's doing here. She's working on whatever's necessary that day.
It's just no one can identify that as the challenge.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, do you think, I mean, there is this weird thing about, like, what role do all the people in the White House play? I mean, and this is something that Amy, that a lot of us have talked about. First of all, the president seems to like to have a lot of different centers of gravity. He seems to like to have people play off each other. Sometimes it gets a little tough, as with Stephen Bannon and Jared Kushner. Other times, I guess he likes it and he thinks the competition is good. Ivanka and her husband, Jared Kushner, also a top advisor, they seem to be one of the power centers.
Yeah, to me, the real question is their ability to get anything done. And so it's one thing to bring in people who don't necessarily have political or government experience because they're bringing some new, fresh insights. And then you surround them or supplement them with people who are really experienced in those. But this is a White House where there's no one who's experienced within the Oval Office, which means there's good parts of that, right? We're going to do things really differently. We don't need to follow the same rules every other president did. I totally buy that. But at some point, you're going to have to show that that's going to be successful. And right now, whether it's on a budget showdown, whether it's the health care plan, whether we'll see it on tax reform, they got to be able to deliver on being different.
I would say we have 1,390 days. It's a little early.
Yeah.
All right, David Urban, Dan Pfeiffer, Amy Walter, thanks one and all.